Good evening, and with you in the studios of Koira Kabiru Live, in conjunction with the Faces of Africa in America, is Koira Kabiru and
James Gadenji.
And tonight we'll be having a very interesting topic, which has been quite requested. We've got hundreds of thousands of requests. As we always say, we are here for you, and we bring what you ask us to do. Tonight we'll be looking at the effects of the blue pill. We have what we call the Viagra and the series. These are drugs that are used to increase libido by men. And what are some of the side effects of these drugs? And to the best of our knowledge, when we get married, we agree with our spouses that at all times we shall do the best, we shall be the best, and I don't think for whatever reason they ever ask us whether we'll be using the blue pill. Have you ever heard of?
No. I don't think there's any connection with the blue pill. As per the papers, and it becomes necessary later.
Why does it become necessary?
Well, there seems to be some problems down the beautiful Maleta lane. And there to be some traffic.
And as I believe, we might have to undo the traffic. Let's hear what this great Rajat Washira Waigwa had to tell us about marriage.
If I live 100 years, there will be no tears, 'cause I'll be there in your waking hours with a bunch of flowers. A bunch of flowers in your waking hours. I'll be there, keep you away from pain in the sun that rain. And I will close my eyes and say a prayer for you. And each day bring you ecstasy,
Ecstasy.
Ecstasy.
Oh my God!
I love that song.
Now let's look at this subject now. As you know, like we say, unfortunately, we are playing the hard ball.
Exactly.
I don't know where the ball is.
We're gonna play the words.
Honestly, our great men, and precisely because the libido increasing drugs are used world over. But as always, I'm almost very specific on what the research that we have done, the people that we interact with very, very, very closely. I understand that there's a pill that is being misused in Kenya. What is this that you know about the blue pill, James?
Well, I seem to know a lot about the blue pill, but probably I can start with the history of the blue pill.
And I'm being told James needs to increase his voice.
Okay. I should be good now. Okay, well, for the viewer, the blue pill is called the blue pill because it is a libido increasing drug. It is prescription pill. And because it is blue, color blue, so it is called the blue pill.
And on that note where you touched that it's supposed to be a prescription drug. Unfortunately, in Kenya, I can tell you with no fear of contradiction that you will be able to acquire the blue pill anywhere, anytime.
Yes, I understand. And I was learning that last week. Nikaambiwa now in Kenya, in most pharmacies, even though wamesema dispensing chemist, which means you must have a prescription written by a medical doctor. But kwa sababu ya biashara, you go to over-the-counter. Now they have become OTC, or over-the-counter drugs, which you do not need a prescription written by a medical doctor.
Does that tell us the level of misuse that the drug is going through, or is it the level of demand that this drug has?
I would say it is both. The demand is almost astronomical, and the mambo ya biashara. The pharmacists, they need a higher volume, so they don't have to go through the red tape of getting prescriptions written by doctors. And there is a lot of demand, which we shall discuss about why.
And actually, I'll tell you why this is happening in Kenya. All the other factors being held constant. One thing I know is that if you go buy the blue pill over the counter, you buy it like 100 shillings, which is about $1. But if you go through the doctor will ask you to pay a consultation, which is like 200 shillings or more. And therefore, I don't know how we have been able to cut across and get the pill there. However, all other factors being held constant, I understand that the most misused drug in Kenya today is the blue pill, and it has the highest demand. And unfortunately, it is no longer for the rich. Anybody can afford, anybody can use it, and it is going at a price of between 100 shillings to $3,000. For 2 pills. That's what I understand.
So 2 pills, it is 100 Kenya shillings?
Yes.
For 2 pills?
Yes.
Kwa hivyo tembe moja ni 50.
Wanunua kimoja. Hapana.
Okay.
Wananunua. Wanasemanga hata ng'ombe haina matiti moja.
Exactly. Kuna 4 zingine 6.
Yeah.
So okay, so hiyo ni 600 hivi.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So, hebu tuulizane. Kulingana na utafiti inaonekana hii blue pill imeua wanaume, na most recently imekuwa the higher class.
Yeah, and I hear it's called, technically they have a word for it. Ukisema imeua wanaume, wanasema hata hiyo ni mwingine ameanguka in the line of duty.
In the line of duty, yes.
The line of duty.
Actually, yeah, they have said, oh, if a soldier can die, if a soldier can die by the gun,
exactly.
Why not this man die in the line of duty?
In the line of duty. And you get a special, you get more honor when you die in the line of duty.
Yeah. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, depending on which side of the coin you look at things, then it means there's no shame in dying while using the blue pill.
Exactly.
So let's look at what the blue pill is, or the libido increasing drugs, and most probably their side effects, and why we are getting into this.
Yes. Listener, I think it is important for us to describe what is libido. L-I-B-I-D-O.
Yes.
Libido is the sexual urge. Nguvu za kiume ama kike sha kufanya mambo za kimwili. Libido.
Na ni vizuri kutanja nguvu ya kiume. Ni vile hiyo mwili ya mwanaume inasimama.
Yes.
Vile inasimama na inatoka kwa akili yako ikisema sasa mwili iko sawa na tunaweza kutenda hicho kitendo cha ngono.
Exactly.
Na ikafika wapi? Ikakuaje? Mwanaume lazima aongeze hiyo nguvu.
Number one, there are so many factors, but for me, I think currently we have a high demand or an increase because number one, we have people who have a little bit gone over the hill. Miaka yao imeendelea kidogo hivi. So miaka ikiendelea, nguvu za kiume zinaenda kudidimia. It goes down with age of a man. And now the demand is still there. The man is financially stable, and he feels that he needs to do what he used to do. Zile za kale, but mwili unakata. So what do? And now here comes this blue pill from the magic maker, Pfizer.
The multi-billionaire drugs maker.
Yeah.
Who don't care what happens as long as we get the money.
And by the way, did you know the origin of how it was discovered? You'd be very, very interested to know about how we came about this.
I know our viewers too would like to know that.
Yeah, because dawa originally it was not meant
for
to increase the libido. You remember it was meant for treating when they were doing the research clinical trials in R&D before it was approved. It was registered by the FDA as a drug to increase pulmonary blood pressure.
Okay.
But when they were doing clinical trials, clinical trial 1, clinical trial 2, clinical trial 3, it was discovered that one of the side effects
is increasing the
libido. And wanaume wanasema mwili wangu umekuwa na shinda ingine. Sio shida, lakini kuna kitu kile kinafanyika. Wa kwanza akasema hivyo, mwingine akasema hivyo. So it was discovered that one of the largest side effects during the clinical trials was having erection.
Okay. Well, we are not interrogating. We won't be looking at the medical perspective of the same, because at some point we'll be having a program that will be looking at medicine, diseases, and whatever effects they have. Let's look at what is happening now in the society, the reality of life. Unapata kama vile umesema, mwanaume amefikia kile kiwango cha kuteremka. Alikuwa anapanda mlima, sasa ni kuteremka. Na katika hiyo hali ya kuteremka, unapata mwanaume yako na bibi hana shida.
Yes.
But then men are no longer zero grazing.
Exactly.
Na sasa akitembea huku na kule, anajipata ni lazima atafute nguvu, aongeze nguvu ya
mwili.
Na katika hali hiyo ndio tumekuwa na maafa mingi sana.
Kuna maafa yani.
In Kenya alone, I understand some of the great, I would call them politicians, wale wanaume, they call them wenye nchi,
wale wanasiasa standi.
Na nimesikia kama 4 au 5 hivyo wamekufa na wamemalizwa na hii kitu.
Yeah.
Is it really is it the only solution that we have for our men? Must our men use the libido enhancers, or there are other ways that they can still either sustain, maintain, or increase their libido without using these drugs?
Yes, thank you, Howard Jones, for following us. And thank you, Bonakuya, for that question. And I was actually listening. Today, you had a very, very nice program in Kikuyu when you're talking about traditionally, you talked about the diet, traditional Kikuyu diet for enhancing libido. And I believe I can remember some of the foods, the common foods that are they are available locally. We talked about honey, you talked about milk, you talked about goat soup, sheep, or any kind of soup, and you talked about things like nuts and all those things. A perfect diet rich in those ingredients, they are available, and even cassava.
Yeah, one of the basics.
So these are things that are easily accessible traditionally, especially Kikuyu culture, but they are wide across Kenya. Those things are widely available. And I believe I can also add things like nuts, cashew nuts, and peanuts, and all those things. Milk as well, or any milk product. And I believe also I can add exercise to improve circulation.
Yeah, that's very important. And I would wish our men would listen to us, because as we are talking, I think it's not what I would say that the one is heading, because it's not heading.
No,
These are things that we bring into ourselves, things that we possibly could avoid.
Yes.
And we are capable of doing that.
Yes.
Because in most cases, I believe our destiny is not predestined,
yes.
but we are in charge of our destinies.
Yes.
I think I won't be telling men not to use the enhancers.
Yes.
But one thing, a preach that I would preach with men, please, if you can, if you love yourselves, don't go out of your way to try to please somebody.
Exactly.
After all, these young women and whoever they are using this stuff on,
yes,
it's just a rust for a day.
Exactly.
Then the following day, if you're not dead, you're going back to your family.
Exactly. And then your counterpart, you go and grab another victim.
Oh yeah,
another victim. That one is gone, and
another soldier,
another soldier
dies in the line of duty.
In the line of duty. So at the end of it all, we're gonna have a massacre.
Actually, yeah. In fact, very soon we should be calling it the Blue Pill Massacre.
Yeah, exactly. That goes into history books, and now the country becomes known for other very uncommon reasons.
Oh my God, that's it.
Ecstasy,
ecstasy.
Endlessly. And each day brings you ecstasy. So darling, won't you marry me and carry me across the sea where starry skies into paradise? Won't you marry me and carry me across the sea where starry skies into paradise? Do you take him to be your love-wedded husband, to love, to cherish, and to hold?
I don't think if such a question was to be answered by our men today.
I want to hear the words.
I want to hear it. I can imagine when they came together, when you got into that kind of marriage or that kind of partnership.
Yes.
One of the basics that most probably you discussed was, like they say, even in the Bible, you will be mine in times of goodness and in times of
poverty and riches, in sickness and in health.
Let's hear what Terede has got to answer that question.
Let's hear.
Let's hear
She's
what
gonna say.
And do you take her to be your lawful wedded wife? To love, to cherish, and to hold?
I don't think she would ask you to go use the Blue Pill. I don't believe in that.
I only heard about
yes,
to love, to
cherish, and to hold.
But not to say to the dispensing chemist.
No, yeah. You won't be doing that.
Yes.
I don't think if she loves you as they do claim, and as per the vows that you hand, I don't think she'll tell you to go and kill yourself with the Blue Pill.
I do. So let us close our eyes and say, amen. We thank you, Lord, in every way. Amen. Everybody say amen. Amen. One more. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Lord, in every way. Amen.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
I hope we'll be hearing that many more times. And especially from our men. We want our men to start saying, thank you, Lord, for keeping us alive, for helping us.
Because when you're down in the line, following the line of duty, you can't give praise or thanks.
No, you cannot. When you die in the line of duty, we cast you. We put you in a curse, and you're as good as forgotten. My God. You want to tell these people to subscribe?
Thank you, listener, for us to be able to know exactly what variety of topics that we want to bring you live, things that infringe on your social life or any other aspect of your life. Please do subscribe. And all you have to do is go to the screen, bottom right. You shall see in red, subscribe button, capital letters. Click on it. It will become clear. And then every time we go live, you shall be notified by a bell. Hey, the Lucky Boys are like bringing mafuta topics.
And on that note, let's Michael feel what he's saying.
Amen. Lord, sisters and brothers. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Sina asianda kuambia wasikilizaji wetu mahali popote mlipo, tumeshukuru kuwa nasi jioni ya leo, na katika hali yoyote tukiomba kama yawezekana washana na hizo groups. Tumia kile Mungu ametupa katika hali yote, and you can always be very sure you have some of the best marriages, the happiest marriages. You will not be predisposing yourselves to what we call the heart attacks. We won't be getting great men dying every day. And like you say, in the line of duty, I don't believe this is the line of duty.
That is dishonorable line of duty.
Yeah, this must be a dishonorable line of duty.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Dishonorable discharge from life.
Yes. Final ones.
Oh, thank you, Bonapita. Thank you very much for bearing with us so far, and especially Mahawa Jones, you are watching us. Thank you very much for your time that you have dedicated to see us. Please share this and subscribe. When you subscribe as well, please write comments so that we can know what things we need to improve on or what more topics we can bring to the studio.
Thank you. We will be back live shortly. We'll be looking at what is happening in Kenya. Tumesikia Kauburi has told Uhuru he must kumbura. Let's know if Uhuru is ready to kumbura and what is happening in the courts, in our high courts. Thank you very much. And until the next time, Aruta.